All right, you guys, we're back and we're live. Welcome back to our weekly live feed. If you're just joining us for the first time, hi, welcome. And if you are logging on Instagram right now, we are also over on Facebook and YouTube. It is a much better experience if you're over on YouTube or Facebook because you get screen shares, so you can see pictures, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't know how to get to our YouTube channel, it's just Sean's Couture Cuties on YouTube. You can click the little button in my bio there on Instagram. It'll take you right over there. What's up? Yes, and if you're logging on, say hi. Of course, say hello. I love seeing who's here with us, and this is a discussion, you guys. So whenever we come on and we actually do these wrap ups and previews, all this kind of stuff, I absolutely encourage your 2 cents, your questions, your buy-in, all those kinds of things. First time making it for a live. Awesome, love it. I love it. For those of you that are new here, we got some newbies on the live. I do all of the things presentation when it comes to the sport here at Sean's Couture Cuties. So if you need a posing coach, if you need a suit, if you need hair and makeup, I do it all. So we always give it about 3 minutes or so before we actually jump into the topic, because then people can get on, they can log in, they can say hi. Everybody's saying hello. I love it. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. Yeah, Stacy did well. We're going to talk about her. We're going to critique her because she did end up in that top 5. Welcome. Yes, made it to YouTube. I love it. I love it. Everybody's here tonight. I love it. Well, as we're getting settled in, I was right. I was right about the top 3. I was. Yep. San Diego was a little all over the place, which we're going to talk about as far as like predictions were way off. So there were some surprises and things like that. So we are going to talk about San Diego and how that played out and everything too. I still ended up getting, the girls that we talked about as far as in the top call out there, but there were some people that I thought might be up there that weren't. So I thought that was interesting. So, but before we do all of that, we're doing something special, you guys. So I told a few people that you should be on this live if you've never actually worked with me before. Tuning in for the dentist chair. I love it. If you've never actually worked with me before. And the reason why, let me pull this up. Okay. The QR code that's right here. We're doing a posing special. This is for new clients only. So if you've been thinking about potentially working with me or something and you're just not sure, I understand that I am expensive. I get that. So we are doing a special for 10 people only, and it is an anniversary special. So let me show you here it is right here. So when you go to that QR code, this is what you're going to see. So we're celebrating 13 years in business. It's actually my 13th wedding anniversary today. So yay, happy anniversary to me. And the first 10 clients who would like to do a posing session with me, you're going to get it for $13. And if you don't know, I am a lot more expensive than that. So this is an opportunity for brand new people. So if you are interested in potentially working with me, wanting to see what it's like to actually be, coached by me as far as posing is concerned and all that kind of stuff, this is where you're going to do it. Okay. So you can just scan this QR code right here. That'll take you to this page right here. When we finish out with this live and it goes and reposts, I'm going to put this link into the description box as well. I didn't want to put it on the description box to start because then it would have shown up while you guys were all logging on, and I wanted to make it a big announcement. So yes, it's my 13th wedding anniversary. We've been in business for 13 years. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. So if you are, curious and want to see what it's all about to be coached by me as far as posing is concerned, here's your opportunity right there. Okay, so scan that QR code right there. And again, I'll put the link right in the description box when we finish out with this live feed as well. So there's that. I'm going to get rid of the screen share. Thank you. Appreciate all the happy anniversaries. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't feel like 13 years. I've been with my husband for 16 years. Today is our 13th wedding anniversary. So yeah, it's been. Again, time flies, doesn't feel like it. So with that, this coming weekend is Charlotte Pro. We will be there in person, live in person. We have a bunch of cuties in it, some pro debuts, all that kind of stuff. How much experience do I have as far as competing? In regard to me, I've been competing for 15 years. So I've been in the sport for a while. I started a long time ago. I started while I was dating my husband. That's when I started competing, because he and I were going out to eat a lot and I was gaining weight and I needed a goal so that I wouldn't get fat. That's why I started competing. And here we are today. So that's how it all began. I had my first competition in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, actually, Knoxville. Take that back. I was living in Nashville, Tennessee. My first competition was in Knoxville, Tennessee. My second competition was in Nashville, within 2 weeks of each other, and got nationally qualified at my first show ever, and the rest is history. So. Oh, well, I just gave you guys a little background on me. So as far as the people who be posing, I'm taking anybody. I'm taking newbies. If you've never worked with me, then you can take part in that particular special that we're doing. So that's the only requirement. If you've never worked with me, this is your opportunity to work with me for $13. Real simple. So gives you the opportunity to try working with me and see if you like it, basically, right? Yes, marketing director. Yes, that's right. He's my marketing director too. Yep. For those of you that don't know, Dan does all of my back end stuff, everything. He does all the website work, like that page I just showed you guys. He made that, so that's what he does. So not only are we married, but we are also in business together, which is a lot of fun. It's challenging for those of you that I'm sure that are, business partners with your significant others. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So we have a lot of fun. So thank you. I try. Gracie, you're amazing at it. So you've come a long, long way. I will say that for sure. Do I do live posing workshops? So yes, I haven't done it in a while where I've actually done them at shows, because I found it's hard to do. Like during the whole COVID year, I was going down to Florida a lot. So I was doing some group sessions and stuff a lot that time because everybody was going to Florida, right? So now it's a little bit more spread out. People are traveling all over the place. So I found it's a little bit more difficult to get everybody together in one spot. But I do the posing workshops here at home. If I can manage it, I will put something together when I go to shows as well, where we do a group session or something prior to the weekend starting, things like that. So it's like I said, it's challenging, but I do that. So yeah. If you're in the area and I'm going there for a show or something, reach out to me and we can work something out where I can get you into a posing session or something like that. So, it's just, like I said, it's gotten a little bit more challenging with the traveling all over the place. It was a lot easier during that COVID year, but believe it or not, because we were all going to the same places. But yeah, we definitely do. So with that, guys, all right, so we are going to wrap up this weekend's shows. And then later this week, I'm trying to think as far as timing is concerned, I think we'll probably preview the shows for this coming weekend tomorrow. So why was I accidentally on IG? YouTube is definitely where the party is at. So if you're on IG right now, that's fine, but you're only seeing my face and hearing my voice versus when you're on YouTube. Yeah, that's where the party is. That's where the party is for sure. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna wrap up the weekend shows tonight, and then tomorrow we'll preview this coming weekend shows. I was hemming and hawing back and forth with that because I am traveling this weekend, but I'm actually not going to Charlotte until Saturday because the women are all on Sunday. At least the ones I'm working with are all on Sunday. So they split up the show a little bit differently this year. At this, I don't know if it's different this year, but they just split up the show a little different in regard to how they typically do. So we've got our pros, our wellness, and our bikini girls all on Sunday, which is great. So I can drive down on Saturday. I'll be there for Saturday for finals, and then the show all day Sunday, and I'll come home Monday. So works out really nicely that way. And that way I can still take clients, everything on Friday too. So with that, you guys, let's talk about these two shows. Which one do you want to do first? Do you want to do Klash or do you want to do San Diego first? Give me some comments. What do you want to do? Looking at it here. You know what? I'm going to roll right into Klash first, I think. We're getting all sorts of votes. Oh, everybody's saying Klash. San Diego. Okay, we're split. All the votes are split. So I'm going to go with Klash. I'm going to go with Klash first. Yulia did do this show as well, so I want to give her a quick shout out. I know she was going to try and get on live tonight, but she typically goes to sleep around this time, so she wasn't sure if she was going to make it for the live. But I wanted to we're going to pull up comparisons. We're going to pull up individuals for the top 5, all of that. So these are the comparisons here, but let's start with the individuals for the top 5, and then we'll go into the comparisons. Hang on a second. I'm going to move this so I can see your comments, because I can't see the chat at the same time. What's up, Jordan? Welcome. Where are we at? Here we are. Okay. Jordan and I will be doing our Behind the Bikini on Thursday, so be ready for that. I'm trying to move that. There we go. Okay, now I can see better. Okay, just had to organize it a little bit better. Okay, so let's start. Oh, I pulled up San Diego. I just said I want to do Klash, and I pulled up San Diego. Let me pull up Klash. I'm so all over the place right now. This is Klash right here. Had it a second ago, and then I'm trying to organize it, and I'm messing it up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so 5th place was Nicole. So I wanted to highlight Nicole specifically in this particular show as well, because she also won the over 40. So she placed 5th in the Open, and she also won the Masters show too. So ladies that are, 40 and over, you can still do well when you jump into these Open Pro shows and stuff like that. When we look at the comparisons, because I am going to pull the comparisons up, what I want you to notice about her is that she has a little bit more muscle maturity than the other girls in the top 5. So be paying attention to that. And that just comes with age, which tends to be a good thing. If you keep yourself put together really well, and then you come in and you just kill it at this age, I mean, you really can get in those top 5s, those top spots, over 40. So I think that's phenomenal. This is a really great look. I mean, overall, it's a really great look. She's got really nice balance from top to bottom. Love the suit color on her. The cut works, all of that stuff too. If I'm being really nitpicky, like the biggest thing with her, again, she's got some more muscle maturity. So she's a little bit harder than what you're going to see from most of the girls that are going to be in their 20s and 30s. But it doesn't really diminish what she has here. I think her proportions are really good. I would like to see a little bit more fullness in her shoulders. Now, one thing, I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not through the live stream, but if you take a look at her arms, you can see she does have quite a bit of vascularity through her arms, through her shoulders, the bicep vein, and everything like that. And we don't want vascularity in bikini. So again, that comes with the muscle maturity, that comes with the density of the muscle and things like that. As we get older, we tend to show a little bit more vascularity. Some people are just naturally vascular as well. But that is something that I would be, careful about. Maybe fill out a little bit more on the upper body, and that would probably diminish the vascularity a little bit and give her a little bit more shoulder pop. If she had a little bit more shoulder pop right here, I think she'd be better balanced from top to bottom. But really, this is a fantastic front pose. This is a fantastic overall look. Glam is really pretty. She looks very youthful. She looks very vibrant. Those are all great things. And again, we're talking about a woman that is over the age of 40. Now, again, I'm 42, so this is all things that we should be taking notes about if we're in this age bracket. You can still do well in the Open as long as you do all of these things right, which she did. So again, I don't really see a whole lot to change with this pose or the presentation or anything like that. I would just probably get a little bit fuller up on top and try to fill out those shoulders a touch more. Let's pull up a back shot for her. Let's see, is she fully posed? See, the ones where she's fully posed, it's not a full shot. So I'm going to do... she's not fully posed here, but I'm still going to pull this one up because we're getting the full shot. So some of these photos are really close up and you can't see the full. Again, she's in motion here, so I'm going to flip it back to the one right before this as well. But a really nice conditioning here. Again, a little bit more on the muscular side. She's got a little bit too much legs is what I would say from the back. I'm going to move it back to this one. We're not full. It's not a full length shot, but if you look at this, you can see she's definitely got that quad sweep on the outside here, and she's just a little denser. Like when I pull up the comparison shots and you look at her in comparison to everybody else, she's a little bit denser, which again just comes with that muscle maturity. So I don't think I would necessarily change anything here. I think this is a really good back shot, to be honest with you. Maybe try to bring down the legs just a little bit, But I mean, honestly, I don't think I would change a whole lot. I think she's doing phenomenal where she's at with her look and with her age group. I mean, to be placing top 5 in the Open is a phenomenal thing. So, and even here, I don't even think that her shoulders need to be much bigger in the back. I think it's just from the front. Just from the front, she needs to fill out a little bit. From the back, I think this is spot on. So I think she's great. Hair look is perfect. You know, she's nice and clean and healthy looking and all those kinds of things. She did a really good job here. So kudos, basically, is what I'm saying right there. All right, let's go to 4th place, which is Stacy. So this is the one we talked about. This was her pro debut. She just won the overall at the Arnold Amateur. Came out and did her pro debut. So let's see if we've got a full length, full pose front shot. I don't know if we do or not. This one's pretty close. Let's go here and pull this one up. She's still kind of in motion right here. So there we go. She's still kind of in motion at this point. So my critiques on her really are just little tiny things. Okay. So physique is nice and round and bubbly. That's great. I think her conditioning could have been a little bit tighter. I'm not a huge fan of this soup color on her skin tone. I think she needs something a little bit brighter. This is a little bit too dull on her skin tone. I also think she needs to work on her glam. I don't know who did her glam, but it's just not enough. When I bring up the comparison shots again, I'm going to point that out so you can see the difference in her glam versus everybody else's, right? This is just a little bit meh. It's a little bit muted. She just needs a little bit more oomph to her overall look. Let's go to so you can see it's just very natural. It looks almost like she's not wearing any makeup at all, right? So where I see she could use a little bit more conditioning, her core, she's got a little bit of distension here. And I think that's just her not holding her core tight enough, but also a little bit of body fat. I'm talking about just a touch. We don't want to come down much more because then what's going to happen is she's going to get too hard, especially from the back. But really where I think she can improve in general is going to be her suit, her glam, her hair. If she can bump all that stuff up to the next level, she's going to be really, really hard to beat. And just a touch tighter, because she's got a really great look here. Let's get to a back shot. Again, I don't know if they have a full posed one. Yeah, they do. So she has a full posed one, so that's good. So this is a great back shot, right? This is a great, she's overall balanced really well. She's got some nice round fullness to her glutes, all of those things. Her delts are super round and full up at the top too. Again, she could have been just a little bit, just a hair tighter from the back. If she's just a hair tighter, just all the way around, I think her whole physique would have popped a little bit more. She was just a touch more. I don't know if I would actually grow anything so much as I would just get a little bit tighter. She's got really long legs. So, you know, she's got to come in a little tighter to bring those hamstrings in just a touch tighter. She could definitely use a little bit more upper outer glute because what that's going to do is that's going to make her waistline look a little bit smaller here. She's got great width up here at the top, which helps to bring her waistline in a little bit smaller. She adds a little bit more size onto her glute here, just a little. Again, I'm saying just a little. She adds a little bit more size here onto her upper outer glute. She's going to have a better proportion from the back, especially because her legs are so long. And you're going to see that when we put her next to everybody else in those comparison shots. But overall, fantastic way to start your pro career. Really, really great job. She just needs to fine tune some things because she's a pro now. You know, she can get away with stuff like this when you're on the national level. You can't get away with this stuff anymore when you're on the pro level. Next one, we have Yulia. So Yulia landed in 3rd. Now, Yulia's feedback was she needed to be a little bit tighter, which I agree with. She was pushing the conditioning, trying to get into shape for the show. That tends to be her scenario going into the first show of the season. She just needs to be a little bit tighter, that kind of thing. Waistline was a little bit distended here, and then she needs to be a touch tighter from the back and the glutes. But her biggest issue, and I talked to her before I came on live tonight to ask her if I could talk about this stuff. Her biggest issue was her tan. So she went and got sunburned 2 weeks ago. And when her tan got sprayed, initially she looked great. The next day, the skin was actually falling off of her because of the sunburn. So with that, I feel like she lost some of her lines. She lost some of the look overall because of the fact that her skin was legitimately peeling off of her body. So guys, She's still she's still leaving. She's here. She's eating. Okay. She's still leaving skin trails through the house. Poor thing, man. Like she was supposed to do Charlotte this coming weekend, but she pulled out so that she could actually heal her skin so that she'll be in better shape for her next show. It'll give her the opportunity to get a little bit tighter, which is good. She needs that. But then she just needs to be able to be gentle on her skin too. She needs to be able to exfoliate all that skin off, make sure her skin's in really good condition to take the tan because it really did obstruct a lot of the lines that she has, right? So it's unfortunate. Like we've talked about this kind of thing before, because myself when I went into Hawaii, I got my period going into it. I ballooned up 6 pounds. It's crazy how little things like this that you kind of don't have control over can completely wreck your whole look. You know what I mean? So I really feel like that was the one of the limiting factors with her at this show. I mean, you can even see it in these photos. You can see it here on her arms, on her shoulders, see all that. That's all skin. That's all skin peeling off of her. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that kind of thing can make such a huge difference here, right? So I think her next show, she's going to come back, going to be a whole lot better. She's not going to have the skin issue. She's going to be a little bit tighter, all those kinds of things, and she's going to just nail it. Let's see if we can get to a back shot. We were even talking about manipulating her back pose a little bit in the back. No more beach for the rest of the year. Stay away. That Florida sun, we were talking about this. My husband and I were talking about this. We both have lived in Florida in the past. That Florida sun sneaks up on you so fast. You don't think it's actually hitting you. And before you know it, you're burnt to a crisp. I mean, you can see it here on her glutes. This is all her tan, her skin coming off. So I really feel like this is what kind of diminished her lines in the back. She probably was tighter than what she actually showed, but the skin was just the tan was just rough. I think if you get up close, I mean, you can see this is all skin. This is all skin. And I won't show the photos. She sent me photos after the show where her skin was literally falling off of her. And I've been in that situation before. I mean, you guys can see how pale white I am. I have gotten that burnt before, and it is just no fun whatsoever. So expect her next show to be killer. And again, I mean, here, you can see it right here. It's right here. So I think this is just what was diminishing her lines more than anything else. And that'll be fixed. Other than that, I mean, still, even with her skin coming off of her like a snake shedding its skin, she still placed third at this show. So that's ridiculously good. So super proud of her. And like I said, she's going to come back, just coming back swinging. We all know that Yulia, when she is determined, she's going to make it, right? Yeah, Yulia, stay away from the beach. Jordan is on this too. Jordan was there in person. I was texting with Jordan during the day of the show, and we were just trying to figure out how to make this work. And it just is what it is. At some point, you just got to say, oh well, it is what it is. We're gonna move on to the next one, right? So Jordan, I want to say too, I want to really appreciate you for helping her and trying to get her to show her best on stage, and also communicating with me because I'm over here trying to figure out ways to make her better from here in Virginia down there in Florida. So appreciate your help too, for sure. So we'll bounce back better. And me personally, I'm upset because I was excited about seeing her in Charlotte, and now she won't be in Charlotte. So I was like, well, that sucks. I'm like, so it is what it is. We'll come back better. We'll come back swinging, right? All right. So let's move on to second place, which was Marie. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate everything that you do, for sure. So Marie, I thought, had a great look. Now, again, I was texting with Jordan, and she said in person, Marie looked phenomenal. What I saw from the photos that Jordan was sending me was I felt like Marie's glutes were a little flat. When I look at this photo, and I don't know what her feedback was or anything like that, but what I see is it looks flat. She looks like a little bit tired, maybe. I mean, she's also done the UK, and now she's here in the US, so maybe that affected her look a little bit. What I saw was I felt like she was flat from the back. When I looked at her versus Allie, who won it, we're going to get into that in a minute, I felt like Marie won it from the front, and I felt like Allie won it from the back. I think Marie has an overall great look. I know that her feedback from Tyler was that she was a little glute dominant, so maybe they tried to manipulate her a little bit so that she wouldn't be glute dominant. But personally, when I look at this, I see a little bit of flatness in the glutes. So again, I wasn't there in person. I didn't see it live, so I don't know what she looked like in person. She may have been nice and round. From what I'm seeing flatness in the glutes. I just think she looked better in the UK personally. I just think she looked better in the UK. Let me pull up a front shot of her. Now again, I don't think we have a full, oh, no, we do. We have a full front shot of her. Okay, here we go. Now, one thing I will say is that she smiled, which I thought was awesome, because one of my critiques for her in the UK was that she did not smile, right? So here she was smiling, beautiful, beautiful smile, all of that. I felt like her front shot looked really pretty. I'm not a huge fan of the lips. I think the lips are too dark. Maybe she got feedback in UK that her lips were too light. I don't know. But the lips to me are a little bit throwing me off a little bit. The rest of the glam look is phenomenal. I think she looks great. But I felt like the lips were a little bit dark. Maybe in person they weren't. Here in the photos, I just felt like that's what I'm zooming in on. My eyes go straight to the lips, right? I do think she looks a little bit better balanced here than she looked at the UK. And again, maybe that was on purpose. Maybe they're trying to do that and take the feedback and apply it. So I personally liked her better from the front. I felt like her waistline was tighter. I felt like she had just enough pop in her glute, her front glute, and also her shoulders. I felt like where she lost the show was from the back. So that's just my own 2 cents. I wouldn't change much about this front pose. Again, I felt like her glutes were lacking from the back. That's where I saw where she needed to have improvement. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know what her feedback was. The only thing I would change from the front really is her lips. That's all. Just a little bit lighter on the lip color. And then we go to Allie, which I know a lot of people were really rooting for her because she came so close so many times last year. And I do think this was a phenomenal look for her. I don't think she has a full-on front pose. Nope. I was looking for one earlier when I was putting the thumbnail together, and she's just got these half shots. So we're close enough on these half shots. We'll do that. And I'll pull up the comparison shots too so you can see that. So for me, beautiful glam look. So this is another thing I want you guys to notice when we pull up those comparisons. I mean, her eyes just sparkled like crazy. And you can really see it when she's next to everybody else. So I felt like her glam was really, really pretty. Love the suit color and everything on her too. She still has a little bit of an issue with the waistline not being tight enough. She's just a little bit distended. That was something that was critiqued on her last year. So I felt like it was still here just a touch. Again, this is why I feel like Marie beat her from the front. Also, I think she could stand to have a little bit more fullness in the shoulders, like I was talking about with Nicole earlier. She just needs a little bit more pop to the shoulders. She's got great shape from the front, but I feel like she just could stand to have a little bit more fullness and round to the shoulders. And I think that her glute pop and everything was great. I think that her lower half of her body was right on for the front pose. And I actually don't think the pose was bad either. I think that her shape was great. I just like to see a little bit more roundness up top to match what she's got on bottom, and just pull that waistline in tight. Those are my critiques from her front. Where I felt like she won the show was from the back. And this is something that she has been a little bit off on in the past, and that is her overall fullness and roundness in her glutes. But here she nailed it. So she has really great shape, upper outer glute, nice tie-in, not too tight, right where it needs to be, and she's got that projection and pop. This was something that she lacked last season. Now she has it. Right? I think that if she had these glutes last season, I think she would have won shows. She didn't win any shows last year because I think she was a little bit flat from the back. Now she's got that round projection. Do you guys see, when I say projection, do you see what I'm talking about when it comes to projection? She's got a nice width through her upper body, and then it V's down into her waistline. And this is what I was talking about with Stacy and how she could improve. Stacy could improve with a little bit more upper outer glute. That's what Allie did this year. She got that upper outer glute pop, right? This is, to me, This is perfect bikini shape from the back. This is perfect bikini shape from the back. I think she did phenomenal here. And again, this is where I think she edged everyone out, was from the back. Her improvements, I think, can come from her front pose. I think that from her back, she looks great. Let's pull up some of the comparisons so you can see that top call out. I think this is, let me see where we are. Yeah, this is a good one for the top call out right here. But I want to go closer. Yeah, the upper outer has definitely improved. Her whole glute profile and everything has definitely improved from last year. Let's do a closer up one. This is good. This is our top. This gets our top 5 in there. Okay, so we're missing Nicole over here on the outside, so I'll scroll through and see if we can get to the one with her in it. But if you look at this top 4 right here, this is your top 4. Notice how tight Marie's waist is, and actually the shape-wise on the top, I have Allie winning from the shape, but the roundness, and you can't see it because of her hair, but the roundness in her shoulders is where I feel like she could fill out a little bit more. I think that Yulia could also fill out in the shoulder a little bit, get a little bit more fuller. But I think with Yulia, what it is, not so much her shape here. I think it's more so her waistline just needs to be a little bit tighter. From the front, look at the glute pops here. I actually really like Marie's glute pop the best here in the front. Again, this is why I have Marie winning from the front. And then when you look at the conditioning level, look at Stacy's conditioning here in comparison to our other top 3 here. Stacy's just a little bit softer. She's got a great shape, but she's just a little bit softer. Now, I also want you to look at her glam. Notice the difference in her glam versus everybody else in this top, even over here too. The glam just pops here versus it's a little flat. And everything is just a little flat. Like look at these suit colors versus this suit color, right? The suit color is just a little flat. Her overall presentation to me is just a little flat. She needs to pop. She needs to pop. When you look at these other girls pop. The suit color pops, the hair and makeup pops. We need pop, right? Physique looks great. Touch tighter, needs to pop on the glam. Okay. Let's go. See what I was talking about with Allie's eyes? Allie's eyes are just sparkling. Just freaking sparkling, right? Okay, so here we are from the back. We got Nicole here over on the side too. Actually, let's flip it back to, so Nicole, this is Nicole going through the transition. We didn't get a full front shot from her yet, but you can see clearly that she has a lot more muscle than the rest of these girls, right? So see how much more muscle she has on her lower half in comparison to the other 4 that she's next to here, right? So it makes sense why she ended up in that 5th place position. Again, I feel like Yulia is kind of obstructed from the tan, just kind of washed out a little bit. This to me looks really, really good. She's got that pop. We're losing pop here. We're losing pop here on Marie, right? That's what I don't see. I see great pop here in Stacy too, but notice how Stacy could have a little bit more upper outer glute. If Stacy does here what Allie did here, she's going to look phenomenal, okay? But again, going back to the glam, look at how everybody's hair is nice and curled and clean looking, and we got a little bit less of that here. It's not quite as shiny. So again, she looks good. This is what we're going to look at the national level versus the pro level. I want to see that whole glam aspect on Stacy just bump up to another level. Do you guys all see that? And again, looking at those suit colors, everyone's suit color here pops except for Stacy's. Okay, so these are just little teeny tiny things that make a big difference when you're getting into that top 5, right? Comment and tell me if you see the things that I'm pointing out, okay? Comment and tell me if you see the things that I'm pointing out. Yulia's got good pop here too, but again, we're just losing some of the lines, the tan and all that kind of stuff. Actually, from the back, I really like Yulia's spread on the top here, the best from the back. If we're talking glutes, the best from the back, we see Allie right away, right? So, there's pluses and minuses on all of these things. That's why these scores have been so tight. There's girls that are so close on every little thing. I mean, the judges have to sit here and pick these girls apart, right? Some girls are winning on one part. Some girls are winning on another part. You got to look at the whole picture, okay? So this was a very, very close top four. Very, very close top four, right? And I would even say your top five and top six are very close to each other too. There's pluses and minuses on both of them as well, right? So yeah, really good showing. Everybody looked great. Now it's just a matter of fixing all those little tiny things. Okay. Yeah, big differences between amateur and pro, and those are just teeny tiny little things, and you can see the difference. That's what makes the difference between first place and fourth place. You know what I mean? So teeny tiny little things, right? Yep. Good. I'm glad you guys see it. I'm glad you guys see it. That's why we do this, right? We want you guys to see all this stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, I can see it. You can't even for the pictures, you can't really tell how much fuller Allie is here, but I could see it from the photos like that Jordan sent me that she was taking in person. I saw it from some of the little videos that were coming out and things like that, you know. So, sometimes the stage shots don't show everything, but you can still see it. You can still see it here, you know. So I think that this was called correctly. I think everybody's placings were right on. I would have done the same thing. I would have put them all in the same places, right? Okay, so let's take a look at San Diego. I think this is San Diego right here. Yep, this is San Diego. Stacey's first shows was close. She was paid to jump into a show to the Arnolds. Yeah, absolutely. And again, going back to it was a phenomenal pro debut. You can't really get much better with a pro debut like that, right? So let's start with San Diego, and we'll start with fifth place, which was Ariel Barley. So remember I told you about Ariel, her issue is her conditioning, right? She was soft, right? She was soft in this particular show, and that's why she ended up in the fifth place position. But also, I mentioned this on our preview, her posing. I'm not sure what's going on with her posing, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this pose at all, and I'm not a fan of her back pose either. She's pushing her pelvis forward, which is making her look really wide through the upper body and really narrow through the lower body. This is almost, to me, this almost looks like a figure pose, right? She's a beautiful girl, beautiful in the pink. Love the pink color on her. Love all of that stuff, but this pose needs to be reworked. Really needs to be reworked. I'd like to see her sit back and push up in that lower back. We're losing that glute pop. She looks really upper body wide, right? And we don't have any pop in her shoulders. Like I feel like her whole body is kind of soft and lacking pop, right? So I think that she's got a phenomenal look, but there are just so many little things that can be very easily fixed. Right? Yeah, her posing has been off in the last few shows. I agree. She gets away with it because she's beautiful. She gets away with it. She's got a beautiful, phenomenal structure and all these kinds of things. But these poses need to be fixed. 100% need to be fixed. And they're little things like just push the pelvis back so the glutes go up. You know, that's it. Just push the pelvis back and you'll be good, right? So conditioning needs to improve. Posing needs to improve. Overall look as far as hair, makeup, suit, all that stuff, gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous, right? But fix the posing, fix the conditioning, right? Let's take a look at her back pose. Okay, so here's a good back shot. Okay, so her conditioning, again, almost there on her lower half, but her upper half, we've lost her shoulders, right? I'm not sure where her shoulders are, right? We need shoulders. We need some cap on that top. She's got to get those to fill out. It's almost to me like in order to be conditioned, she's kind of dieted herself away a little bit. That's what it looks like to me. Also, her back pose, she's really shifted off to one side. She's really shifted off to that left side. And that's her side when she's in the front. That's her left side when she's in the front pose, right? That comes from posing on one side all the time. That comes from that dysfunction in her posing. So again, going back to her posing. So it's posing and conditioning. Beautiful look with the hair, beautiful look with the suit, posing and conditioning, right? She's an Olympian. She placed this past year too. I think she was in second call out. So she has the potential to do very, very well. She's just missing the mark on a couple of little teeny tiny things. Fix the posing and just get a little bit denser, I think, probably in the upper body specifically, so that you can get a little bit leaner and you can still have that pop. She's got to grow some more shoulders because her shape is there. She's just got to fill it out, right? Lower body, Lower body's great. She just needs to be a touch more conditioned, just a touch more conditioned. And again, that when she gets conditioned, it diminishes her upper body. So she needs to grow her upper body a little bit more so that she can get leaner and she can still get that pop, right? That would be my 2 cents on Ariel. Okay, so we have Alyssa Blessing is next. Let me get a good front shot of her. Okay, so she's another one where I felt like her posing was off. She's very wide through that upper body, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. She would be better suited to bring her hips a little bit more onto us. She's really sideways with her hips, which makes her structure look even more almost figure, right? Also not a huge fan of this top. I feel like it's even making her look even wider across the top. I think that she has, again, she's another one just like Ariel, where I think she has a better physique than what she's actually showing here. I think her conditioning is right on. I think she's right there, but she just needs to twist that hip a little bit more straight onto us so that she looks a little bit better balanced from top to bottom, right? Beautiful look with the hair and makeup. Again, I don't think the suit top is doing her any favors. I would definitely adjust that, bring it in a little bit more, cover up a little bit of that, this clavicle area, so that makes her look a little bit more balanced. Doesn't need to do anything with those shoulders. Probably needs to grow a little bit of glutes here so we get some more glute pop. And that could be why she's posed so far to the side so that it shows what glute pop she does have. But I would like to see what she looks like a little bit more twisted on to us so that she doesn't look quite so V'd in, right? This to me looks a little bit like almost borderline small figure, right? Let's take a look at a back shot. So you can see here from the back shot, again, conditioning is great. She's right on with the conditioning, but she's small up in the glutes, right? She's small in the glutes. So I would like to see, you can see she's a little shallow up top here, She needs to fill all that out, right? If she could fill all that out and pop it up a little higher, money, right? Crazy part about it is when she's in her back pose, she does not look like she's too wide up top at all, right? She does not look like she's too wide up top. So just like you said here, she looks huge across the top because it's probably her posing. Exactly. So I think she's not that huge. It's just her posing. So I think she's probably doing that again, going back to, I think she's probably doing that to try to show more glute from the front. But what it's doing is just making her look really big on the top. So she's got to fine tune that. And I would say also more glute, just more glute in general, right? Legs are a good size. I wouldn't change the leg size at all. I would just try to fill out that glute and get it to pop up a little bit more. Like we were talking about what Allie did, right? She needs to do here what Allie did, right? And then she'd be right on. But because she doesn't have that there, she just looks small in the glutes. But great conditioning, great overall look. She just needs to fill those glutes out and fix the posing a little bit. So that's 2 cents there. So Kimberly Bonilla came in third, and they really compared the top three quite a bit. Let's find a good front shot with her. So where I see her needing some improvement is upper body right here. She's pretty shallow through the chest. Great look with that lower body of the pose. I think that the way she's posing is good here too. But I think where we're seeing, she's got such a long torso. She's just a long girl in general. I think she's 5'9". She's tall like me. I get how that's hard to pose. I think where we're losing it a little bit here is it just makes her waistline look really long. And if she can just fill out her back, her shoulders and clavicle area in here, again, with a little bit more meat, I think that would really help to balance her from top to bottom. I do think this is an improvement from last year. Her posing is better than it was last year too. But we just need more. And this could be, drop the arm down a little bit more, stand up a little bit taller. I feel like she's pushing into this quite a bit. Stand up a little bit taller, relax the upper body a little bit, and that might fill it out a little bit more for her. Again, I think the lower half is posed pretty well, but I feel like she's pushing into it a little bit too much. And that throws off her balance. Stand up, open up, let this open up a little bit more, let the shoulders open up a little bit more, and maybe this would be a different look here, right? But I feel like she probably just needs a little bit more muscle all the way across the top, right? Again, great look with the glam. You know, I'm pointing that out on everybody. Great look with the glam, hair, makeup, suit, all of that. Great look. It's important. That part is really important. Let's do bottom half or back half. So where I think she edged out quite a few people in the show is from the back. Really nice full round glutes. And she's got that, again, that width that goes into her shoulders here because she's got such a long torso and such long legs. I mean, it's a really good shape from the back, right? And she's got that shoulder pop in the back. So again, I think if she plays around with that front pose a little bit more, I think we'll see more shoulder. I think we'll see more of that up top than what she was actually showing. I think she could be a touch tighter in the back. We're seeing a little bit of squishiness here underneath the glutes. So I think she could be just a little bit tighter from the back, maybe arch a little bit more. Maybe she doesn't need to be tighter. Maybe it's just the arch. Let me see if she goes into it a little bit more at all. No, that's her full pose. Okay. I thought maybe she would, maybe if she arched a little bit more, that would pop everything. That could be it. But to me, in this position, it looks like she just needs to drop a little bit more, just a touch more underneath the glutes. But again, going back to the fact that she's so tall, this is a great lower body look for a tall girl, right? Nice and round, all that stuff. So I don't know. Again, I'd probably play with the posing a little bit more here, just see if maybe she could arch a little bit more in the lower back, and maybe that would pop those glutes a little bit better, right? Well, the way her upper body looks in this back shot is weird. No, her upper body's great in the back shot. Like, I think her upper body in the back shot is good. That's why I'm saying, like, I think it's her pose in the front that's making her upper body look thin. I think she could probably fill out her upper body quite a bit in the front shot. In the back shot, I think she's right on. I think her upper body's right on in the back shot. Again, I'd like to see what she looks like with a little bit more arch in that lower back. Maybe that would make her look like she's a little tighter than she actually is. But other than that, I think that she was right on with this back shot. Again, a little bit more conditioning or a little bit more tilts in the lower back, one of the two. And then we have Tara, which we kind of assumed that it would come down to Tara and Amy here. Let's pull her up. Front shot. So I think she was a little bit better in the UK, right? To me, it looks like she could be a touch tighter here. Maybe they told her in the UK that she was too tight. Maybe they told her that. And then she came in a little softer here. But I don't think this is a bad look on her at all. I think this is still a great look on her. I think she's improved massively since last year. I don't think she was going to come in and beat Amy anyway, to be honest with you. But in general, I think this is a really good look for her. I just liked the UK look a little bit better. I felt like she was a little bit fresher, a little bit sharper in the UK. Here, she just looks a little bit softer, just a touch. But again, going back to hair and makeup looks phenomenal. In this particular light, I actually do like the pink suit a little bit better on her. It looks a little deeper than what I saw from the UK, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting of the pictures. The UK lighting made the suit look a little bit lighter, so it could just be the pictures here that are making it look a little bit deeper in color. But I'm not mad at the pink here versus when I saw it in the UK. I wasn't a huge fan of it. So in general, I think this is a good look on her. I don't think it's her best. I think the UK so far has been her best, but I think this is better than what she put on stage all year last year. So in general, I think I would just come in a little bit touch tighter, just a touch tighter here. Just that's it. I don't think she was going to beat Amy anyway. So the fact that she came in and did as well as she did, I think that's really, really good for her. And from the back, I still have the same critiques that I think that Tyler gave her as well. She did pose a touch different in the back than what she did in the UK, where she's got her toes out a little bit more here than what she had in the UK to try to balance her legs with her glutes. So I think that was the right call. But in general, I think she's just going to have to grow her legs a little bit more. Her glutes look great. I would like to see them fill out a little bit more on top. Same thing I was talking about with Alyssa. She needs a little bit more upper glute here, but I think her conditioning is right on from the back. Width on her shoulders is fantastic from the back. I think she just needs a little bit more leg. I think she just needs a little bit more leg here, right? Looking at your comments here. She was happy with the third. They both felt good about it. Good call. Yeah, I think, in general, I think that Kimber looked great. I think she just needs to still keep working and adjusting her posing more than anything else. But again, like I said, everybody here has things to work on, right? And with Tara, again, looking at this suit color here in this light, I'm not mad at it. I didn't like it in the UK. Here, I'm okay with it, right? So it could just be the lighting. But again, I think that her pose here is great. But I do think she needs some more legs. I do think she needs some more upper glute. I think her conditioning is right on here. She was probably a little bit too tight in the UK from the back. And so she probably tried to soften up here a little bit, which was probably the right call. But again, I think I like her back shot here better than what I saw in the UK, but I liked her front shot better in the UK than what I saw here. So, put the two together. I still think the UK was probably a little bit of a better look for her. But it's really splitting hairs. So I think she just needs to get a little bit more legs from the back and a little bit more upper glute here, and she'll be right on. So, yeah, she's definitely done a great job with bringing her waistline in. Her waistline has come 1,000 times better than what she had last year. So huge ups on that. And then we have our winner, which was Amy, which we all assumed Amy would come in and win this. I think everybody kind of knew that, right? Let's get a good front shot of her. Here we go. Okay, so in general, I think this is a great look on her. I think she's a little softer than the Arnold, if I'm seeing things correctly. Again, it could just be the lighting. I like this front pose on her. I mentioned it. To be honest with you, I don't think she changed a whole lot from the Arnold coming into this particular show. So I think she just went with what worked. She came really close at the Arnold, only coming in second by 1 point. She looked, again, to me, this looks a touch softer than the Arnold, but I could be wrong on that. It could just be the lighting. I'm just looking at the waistline. To me, it looks like she's got a little bit of water on the lower back on the waistline here. Upper body looks great though. She's nice and relaxed with her posing. Glam is great. Suit, all that stuff, great. Posing looks great. We're nitpicking here, and I don't know. Maybe the Arnold was a touch better. I don't really know. It could just be the lighting that I'm looking at here. So, and at this point, we kind of knew she was going to come in and win this show. So I think she probably came in with whatever feedback she got at the Arnold and tried to apply it here. And now anything she does from this point out, it's just going to be kind of adjusting to do better at the Olympia. I know she's planning on doing several more shows. So she's trying new things, which that's what she should be doing at this point, right? From the back, I think that her conditioning was right on. I know that she got feedback that they wanted to see a little bit more tie-in here. I don't necessarily think she needs to do that. She can try it and see how it looks. I personally think this looks great. She's got great projection. She's got just enough upper outer glute. She's got that taper into her shoulders. Hair looks great from the back. All of that. So I personally don't think I would change this, but I know that she's going to try some new things and just see how it shakes out on stage, which again is what she should be doing. At this point, she wants to move up and at the Olympia. So now is the time to figure out how to do that, right? So again, she looks softer, but it could just be the light, because I said the same thing about Tara. Tara looked a little softer, but it could just be the lighting. So we got to take those things into account when we're looking at stage photos, and we're not there in person at the judges' table. I do know that Amy's planning on doing Wasatch, defending her titles at Pittsburgh and New York. So we'll see how that goes as we go along here. But this is her opportunity. Now she's Olympia qualified. Now she can try things and see what the judges like. See what the judges like best on her. So I don't think it's wrong to try and come in a little softer. Maybe that's what she did. Whatever works. She's Olympia qualified now. Now it's about getting the feedback. Now it's about getting the feedback and just seeing what the judges all like best on her. Real quick, we'll pull up the comparison shots and flip flip through those really fast. So this was your second call out here. So again, we have our, fifth and fourth here, and you can see clearly here that Ariel is just a little bit soft, a little bit watery. And again, Alyssa looks very, very sideways here. I don't know what the feedback was for Brittany, but to me, she looks quite a bit more muscular through the legs than the other girls. I don't know what placing she ended up in. That she was one that I thought would be a little bit higher, but to me, this looks like a little bit too much muscle in her lower half, especially when you're looking at her next to the other girls here. Let's flip through these real quick, see if we can get to a back shot. I think they go into a back shot. So here's the two of them next to each other. So again, looking at the shapes overall, you can see why Ariel was a little soft. You can see it. She's a little watery through her waistline. Again, she needs more shoulders. You can clearly see the more shoulders here. I actually think that Alyssa has a little bit too much of a shoulder, so like they need to split the difference between the two of them. But both of them need to work on their posing. Let's see if we can get them to the back. So again, looking at the back pose here. Now, to me, again, Ariel has a better glute structure. But her posing, she's really tilted off to one side. That makes this glute look smaller than this one right here. The conditioning needs to come up with the conditioning, and just overall balance here. I would give it to Alyssa, which is what they did. Genetically, Ariel's got the better shape, but just being in shape, Alyssa's got that. So that's the two of them. Let's get the first call out up here. Right here. Okay, so here's your top three right here. So again, to me, I think that Kimber's tilted a little bit here in that upper body. Again, it's just a little bit too much manipulation with that front pose, I think. I think if she just stands up tall and opens up, I think it'll be better. Amy's pose, I wouldn't change anything. Tara, maybe twist the hip a little bit more, maybe. I think it's pretty good for her, but she needs some more upper glute pop from the front. So I try to manipulate that a little bit, try to get the upper glute pop a little bit more. I think her upper body looks good, but I think she needs to twist her lower body a little bit more here. Yeah, huge height difference between these girls. Huge height difference. Okay, so from the back. So again, I feel like Amy's conditioning is right on. I do think that Tara's conditioning actually is right on as well, but she just needs more fullness to her upper glute here, and again, more legs. Kimber's a little off. She's a little bit soft. You can see it through this lower hamstring tie-in. That's where I'm looking at for the three of them. She's just a little bit soft right here. Again, if she tilts it a little bit more, that might disappear. She might just need to tilt a little bit more. I'm just seeing it in the skin texture and all that kind of stuff there, that she's a little bit softer. I might come a little bit closer on Amy's feet here, but I think they might be doing that on purpose. That might thin her down just a little bit from the back. She's pushing the limit as far as fullness. I think that she's as far as she can go with the fullness. And again, with Tara, she just needs more legs. She needs more legs and she needs more upper glute. But it's you can see it when you put them next to each other. You can see why they landed where they did in their placings. Overall, I think they were really great packages across the board, but you can just see why one person's in first, one person's in third, right? Questions on any of this, you guys? Questions? Did you agree with the placings? Did you think that they should have landed differently? What do you guys think? Do you see the things that I've been pointing out? That's the other thing too. I know sometimes you may not see what I'm actually showing you. And while we're waiting for any questions to come in, if you guys have any questions, like I mentioned right now, we've got a posing special going on right now. That's our QR code right here. So if you're new and you've never posed with me before and you want to try posing with me, we've been in business for 13 years. So we're doing a 13-year anniversary. You can get a posing session with me for $13 right there. So this is for new posing clients. If you want to get an idea of what it's like to work with me, that's your opportunity right there. And also, while we're waiting, if anybody wants to type in questions or anything like that, we will be in person live at Charlotte Cup this coming weekend. We have several girls competing on Sunday, so I'll be there from Saturday to Monday. So I'll be there live. Good. I'm glad it's helpful. That's what this is all about. This is what this is all about. And like I said, I want you guys asking questions. So when you're on here, feel free, ask questions. That's what this is for. I've been doing this for 15 years. So I've got a pretty good developed eye. So awesome. Good. I'm glad you got a posing spot. That's awesome. Love it. So yeah, and like I said, if you like working with me, great. We'll keep working together. If you don't, then I'm sorry. I'll try my best. Yeah, but schedule those posing sessions, get in, and we'll see what we can do with you. So, any other questions, guys? It seems like the ladies on the East Coast are a bit more muscular looking than the West Coast. Or am I crazy? No, I don't think so. You gotta remember too, these girls are flying all over the place. I think what you might be seeing is just differences in lighting. I think what you might be seeing is differences in lighting from the shows, right? But no, I mean, you got to remember some of the girls that competed on the East Coast are from the West Coast, and some of the girls that competed on the West Coast are from the East Coast. So they travel all over the place depending on where they want to actually compete. And what you may be seeing as far as differences has to do with the stage lighting itself, right? Glad it was helpful. That's what it's all about. So when we finish out tonight, like I said, tomorrow night I'll come on and I will preview this coming weekend shows, Charlotte. I think that's it. It's just Charlotte, right? I think we'll preview that. We'll preview both bikini and wellness for that. And then we're off to the races for the weekend. So it'll be a fun show. I'm excited about being there in person, bring you some live feeds from there. So if you'd like to see my suits, you can visit my boutique, which I believe the link is in the description box here on YouTube. I know you're watching here on YouTube. If it's not there, you can check it out through my Instagram as well, which is Sean's Couture. I'll check out the description box when we finish out this live stream. And when this video goes in reposts, I'll go into the description box and make sure that the boutique link is there for you too, so you can take a look. Got a lot of videos and photos on the site as well as on Instagram too, so you can take a look at those. And have an idea of what we do. And I also do free suit consultations too. So if you'd like to talk to me about purchasing a suit, you can set up a free suit consultation and we'll get that done for you too. Okay. Any other questions, guys? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight. This was a long one. We went pretty in depth, but I appreciate all of the interaction. That's what keeps these things going. When you guys ask questions and interact and all that kind of stuff too, it's fantastic. And with that, we'll be back again on live tomorrow night. So if you're not subscribed here to my YouTube channel, make sure you do that because you'll get a notification and it'll tell you when we go live, and we'll preview our show for this coming weekend. Okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Get in for posing with me if you want to try it out, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.